Hey guys, here's the old man Jim again, and I'm going to show you the. Oops, let me walk into the frame, not out of it. But I'm going to walk out of the frame a couple times. So I'm going to show you the first thing that I got to do is to level the motorcycle. If you're going to be using doing an oil change, you always got to be level when you put it in and check the levels. Same with the coolant. Thankfully, the Goldwing has a very special feature that not very many touring motorcycles have. I'm going to take it off the mount real quick and show you. Normally, all motorcycles just have the side stand. Everybody but Harley-Davidson calls it the side stand. Harley likes to call it the Jiffy stand. Now, granted, their stands operated a little differently from Honda's, but if I had a Harley-Davidson or a lot of other motorcycles, I would have to bring in my lift, which I do have a lift, but I only use that for getting the wheels off, or doing brake jobs and all that kind of good stuff. Honda, in their infinite wisdom, built something into this motorcycle. You see this pedal right here that my hand's on? Look at that, 2 legs. It's called a center stand. I know the GL 1500 Goldwing, which is what I have, and the GL 1800 Goldwings have them. Frankly, I wouldn't be without them. But I may have to when I buy a Yamaha Star Venture. So here's what I got to do. It's very simple. First, straighten the handlebars. Second, put my foot on it. Third, level the motorcycle, keeping my weight on the center stand. That puts both on. Now I'm standing on it, lifting up. Voila. Very easy. Motorcycle is now level. As you can see, it's now perfectly level. It's on, not the side stand. I can move it because this is a great feature. If I break a side stand, well, I still can't park because, but at least I can, with some help, I can center stand it, put a new side stand on, bam. Or if I just want to replace the side stand anyway. But it's on here, the rear wheel. As you can see, it's moving slightly because it's in gear. Always park a motorcycle in gear because, well, most of them don't have a parking brake. Yes, I do have a cup holder. I never use it because, drinking at a soda at 60 miles an hour is kind of hard when you get a full, basically a full face helmet on. So this is the first part of what you got to do. Center stand your bike. Now I'm doing a step I don't really need to do yet until I drain, and I'm not going to drain yet because you have to warm it up. Best way to warm it up, ride around for a few minutes, but I don't feel like doing it. I'm just going to go ahead and warm her up, start her up, warm her up. And I don't have my keys here, so take the side panel off. This is a nice Yuasa high performance absorbed glass mat battery. I highly recommend them for motorcycle use. Use them in your car too if you can afford it. They're a little pricier than standard lead acids. But my little pigtail, like I said. Now I'm going to remove this panel. They just pop right off, so you got to be careful that you don't lose the grommets that they come into. And you can see, just a good old dipstick. They sell chrome ones, but who's going to see it? Besides, I'm not dressing up my engine that much. And that's the oil fill cap. And the thing about a motorcycle, unlike a car, both the engine and the transmission use the same oil. The engine oil is the transmission oil. The motor mount's in pretty good shape. I don't need to get new ones. Mysterious leaves that always seem to get in the system. I don't know how. But like I said, I'm going to warm her up in a little bit. Always place your panels somewhere where you're not going to lose them. Same with the bolts. I have the simplest solution for bolts. Just a good old magnetic parts tray, a couple bucks at AutoZone. Once again, I've had it for years. Oops, the sticker finally came off. And it has a gigantic magnet too, because I can just, bam, put it right on the frame. You know, any steel part. It has to be, of course, ferrous metal, steel, iron, that kind of stuff. Copper, aluminum, magnets don't work with that. They work with ferrous metal, steel, iron. It's hot out here. Now, screwdrivers for my other stuff. Good old Craftsman. This is in my tool roll, not in my toolbox. I need to get some others. And I'm going to show you one fastener because the cover is missing. You see the cover missing here. What looks like a Phillips. That's not a Phillips. Since this, even though this motorcycle was built in the United States, Marysville, Ohio, in case you want to know, the fasteners are not SAE, the standard. Here's my SAE tips that I use with the slotted and the Phillips. These are called Just Tips, Japanese Industrial Standard. $4 online. You know, they make them in the U.S., thankfully, because those of us with motorcycle, you know, with metric bikes is what these are called, really need them. Phillips will cam out of the screw. You're going to ruin the screw, and these you can get more torque with. I also would suggest impact bits as well. And I don't mean using a gigantic impact wrench to take the screws off. No, those are for bolts and nuts. Impact is just you set it and you have a hammer. Couple quick knocks, usually it'll break them loose. But as I said, here is where I'm going to start after. Get it? Where is it? Where is it? There's the drain bolt. Hard to see. 17 millimeters. Can't drop it. But I have to take this off first, which is why I have my Japanese screwdrivers out, because I'm going to need them. Thankfully, that magnetic thing makes them magnetic. Also, I have to get in here. It's hard to see, but the final drive. This is not a chain or belt-driven motorcycle. It's a shafty. BMWs use them. Honda. I don't know about Suzuki and Kawasaki. They might. But underneath the pipe, it's hard to see. You see that shaft? That's not part of the swing arm. That's literally a universal joint drive shaft. They made it a tube for it in the swing arm. But it makes it, you can't roadside repair these, but thankfully they're bulletproof. All I'm going to do is change the oil in it, and I have to use this. Hope I have enough. Usually about 4 ounces, and this is a quart. I've used it for other stuff too. SAE 8090. Gear oil. Oil, motor oil, it smells okay. You know, you can work around it and it doesn't really bother you. This gear oil stinks to high heaven. It stinks. Like, there's nothing other than to say it stinks. Now, as far as coolant, yes, this is a liquid-cooled engine. I don't know if you see. You got the fuel gauge. You've got the coolant gauge. Lets me know my side stand's down. Reverse. Yes, it says reverse. Neutral, just in case. Overdrive, which is 5th gear. High beams. Fuel, low fuel, because these are very inaccurate. Oil pressure. That's not low oil level. That's low oil pressure. Cruise control lights. Tachometer. This is basically just the clock and the radio. That's all that is. It's an LCD display for the clock and the radio. But yeah, it's a cool liquid-cooled engine. Down here is everything. So I still gotta take that stuff off to get to the coolant. I'm gonna drain and refill the coolant. And instead of Honda, I keep the old bottles because stuff's $7 a quart. Very expensive crap. Now here's the thing. All you need to do with your motorcycle is make sure, and because this takes 4 quarts, like some small car engines, it's a 1500cc engine, 1.5 liters. Thing is, you need to make sure this is an aluminum block. However, you don't really have to search these days because most modern car engines, almost everything made after 2008 have aluminum blocks. So, the other big key, no silicates, basically silicone particles. They will help wear down the engine. And in this case, it's engine/transmission. It's an unholy nightmare. It's expensive. I don't want to replace an engine. I'm just going to part out the bike if I blow the engine. Notice this is a gallon. Valvoline with Xerox technology. I don't know what the hell that means, but it says Honda, Acura. Acura's a Honda. Just like Lexus is a Toyota. Nissan, Hyundai, Kia. And other seat back panel for more. Key is 50/50 premix. Now I'm not doing this until I go because I'm actually going to do a flush, which requires me to go get what is it called? Distilled water with no minerals in it. I'm going to run a gallon of water through it and flush it out. But this says no silicates. And if it's manufactured for a Honda, it'll work on this Honda. Now this body panel here is going to be replaced with one that's white. So I'm going to have a dark blue bike, one white panel, one light blue panel, because the guy originally had a chrome one that broke. He didn't have the original one. And then the seafoam green panel. This is going to be Frankenbike by the time I get done with her. I really want to replace a lot of the badges because they're worn out. And I'm going to paint it eventually if I can afford to. But that's it for right now. I got her on the center stand. I showed you a lot of the stuff that I'm going to use. But I still need to go to the grocery store and pick up some distilled water. And hopefully I will, if I can find something metal for this or glass for this to stick to. Either that or I'll use a cup holder so that I can really show you what I'm doing. I still got to figure it out. I'll still figure it out. If I got to put it in something that'll hold it upright, that I know will hold it upright, prop it up, whatever I got to do. But as always, keep safe. Don't take any crap from anyone. Stay off a lift. Don't even give them a ride. Don't even ride them. All right? Take care of your car. Take care of yourself. Have fun.